And this should be men with high experience, capability, and capacity, and round peg in round holes this time around to get his policy agenda kick-started. That is the first assignment, and I'm quite sure he's already having his template, and very soon I think that one should be let open. Although on the social media we have been hearing rumors of this man here, that man there, and the like, but we know that the man knows the onion and is ready to actually fix the right men in the right places. And that is the first agenda. Then, aside from there, aside from that, he will have to explicitly, within probably his first meeting with his cabinet, explicitly to express the agenda, so that nobody will derail. Nobody will derail. And of course, we are hearing that he has blueprints. He has blueprint already. The blueprint, the working papers, of course, which he wants to use to guide his cabinet towards achieving the agenda. He must be ready to, I know he had done it before, conducting workshops and orientations. It's very important, so that, because he's the only man that will be held accountable, he's the man that will be held accountable this time. Just like the outgone president was saying, please pardon me for whatever minuses, because the president is the accounting officer to Nigeria. So he must set the agenda in series of workshops to actually guide his men in the cabinet aright, so that all of them will be focused, and before you know it, the people in the society will be having dividends of democracy.
Thanks so much, Dr. Rashid Aditoro. Of course, Prof, when you look at the international environment and with the assemblage of diplomats and the like that assembled at the inauguration platform, how do you see, what is there any hope for Nigeria, talking about international relations?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate the new president and the new government for the successful inauguration. Well, we are very happy that, of course, now we have a lot of diplomats, from many important countries of the world, that, witnessed the inauguration. And before the inauguration, the president-elect then, of course, now, traveled far and wide, and the travel, of course, now was just not for fun. It was making a lot of the consultations. And I'm very sure, in fact, before the inauguration, of course, now we had Tony Blair, of course, in Nigeria, discussing, of course, now then with the president-elect. And I'm very sure, of course, now with, the caliber of president that is now leading the government of the country, is going to have a lot of, good, working relationship, of course, now with the governments of the world. And as we have been told, of course, now they are already, of course, now to have good partnership with this government. And I'm very sure, of course, now in no distant future we start to reap, of course, now the benefits and dividend of the democracy, because the man at the end of the affair, of course, now knows his onions, and then we are believing that, of course, now all what, of course, now he has promised to do, he will do them to the letter. And I said, you just have to do a lot of monitoring. It is not enough, of course, now to stay in Aso Rock and be monitoring, his ministers. No, he needs to, of course, now to go out occasionally to really find out on the things on his own, to really see, of course, now things, of course, now at the first hand, to see that they're actually working, to his expectation, there should be monitoring and evaluation from time to time to put all his ministers, of course, on toes. Because the experience, of course, now we had in the last the past 8 years, it wasn't good enough. There were a lot of expectation and a lot of hope, and for this particular government, we expect that, of course, now the president, of course, now we walk the talk and meet all the yearnings and aspirations of the Nigerians.
Well, for people to actually believe that the government is going to work for them and for their welfare, and to also ensure that business will run as expected, and even communities can be proud that they are in a safe climate. Dr. Aditu,
Yep.
will you say that we are now in an era where justice will prevail? An era where leadership will walk the talk?
Well, of course, we know that most of things that derailed in the past was a result of inconsistency in policy implementation. You have the policy guidelines set aside, and the implementers are now doing different things. And that's why, just like Professor Agbola said, there is need for a lot of monitoring and a lot of evaluation. Actually, we need to be scientific about it. Scientific to the extent that all agencies of monitoring and evaluation must allow to be working. They are there already. We have the institutions, the agencies that are to monitor. They must be strengthened, and with credible men, sincere, credible men, and they must be seen working. And of course, public opinions and public assessment and public evaluations must be given the right place for accountability to thrive. Not where ministers will be seeing themselves as untouchable. We have seen ministers in the last regimes that played the role of gods as against
Being servants to the people.
being servants to the people. And that actually destroyed the image of that regime. And of course, we felt even the masters should call such ministers to order, but we just saw them playing to the gallery. That must not allow to happen, because to whom much is given, much is expected. Just like in the inauguration speech, especially when he's been decorated with the highest honor in the country, he said he knows that there is a lot of expectation from Nigerians, and a lot of sacrifices had been made for his emergence, and he will not disappoint. And in not disappointing means a kind of sincerity of purpose and courage to do it right, and not minding even stepping on toes is very important.
So you will have the political will.
He must garner that political will, and of course he had shown that in the past, and that's why we believe in his leadership, and that's why majority actually deliver for him. So, and the expectation is that he will bring his political will and capability to play to ensure that the government and the populace, they are in the same direction, and the direction of development, and that's it.
Are you sure age is not going to have a low turn on him?
Well, when you talk about age, there are ways by which even you monitor with age, you evaluate with age. You can get sincere and committed people that are private to you, or known even to many of the cabinet, that will be giving you a kind of objective report.
Advices.
Yes, it could be even private, from private commissioned findings, and that one will work better. That one will work better. We have seen that in the past, most monitoring and evaluations that are done through private hands are the most objective, and they are the ones that actually fix the problem. So the man needs to apply that, and of course he has the wisdom.
Thank you, Dr. Adeto. Professor Awola, thank God you are from the agricultural institution. Looking at the agricultural sector, how do you see Nigeria growing?
Well, Nigeria is not doing very well in the area of agriculture, because as we are still talking right now, we are still jettisoning the concept of the mechanized farming, and until we go into that, and that is what of course we discussed last week, that the government of course now must adopt the technology. The era of using of course now hoes and cutlass of course now to farm now cannot fly to anywhere.
But the same partnership between state governments, Lagos partnering with
but are they really making it? For example, of course now the Lagos State of course is partnering with is it not KB State, in the growing of rice? Where is the rice?
It's not
but in this coming month there is going to be some.
Why not?
Yes, now why not this month?
Why not?
What we are bringing out will be sufficient of course now to feed Nigerians without really looking into the Thailand and the rice from the Thailand, from India, and from all those places.
Okay, as an expert from an agricultural institution, so what's your suggestion?
My suggestion of course now, number one, the government, this government of course now must declare state of emergency on agriculture. Because look at what the Babawolo and the others of course now did of course now in the 60s. It's with respect to the agriculture, the farm settlement and all that, and we still have the land, traveling from here now to Sokoto, to Maiduguri, to everywhere. We still have the land.
It might interest you that the last regime promised 1,000 tractors.
Yes.
From somewhere, I think around Brazil and so on. To date, those tractors never arrived. I don't know what happened.
So the government of course now must declare state of emergency on agriculture, because these are the areas of course now if we do very well in agriculture, we have things to export, and we earn foreign exchange, and all these of course the monolithic economy that we are practicing of course now things of the past. In fact, we have the comparative advantage in the area of agriculture. We have everything of course to support us. The Thailand that are bringing rice, the Indians, do they have more fertile land than what we have in Nigeria? The answer is no. But we have to adopt the technology.
But the incidence of rice importation has reduced.
Well, it has reduced because of the fact that number one, do people even have the foreign exchange to even to import? They are handicapped. So because the economy is not, it's not functioning.
And I also learned that the rate at which we export products, cash crops and the like, is also increasing. It's increasing, but of course now we could do better. We have to do better. For example, of course, there was a time they were saying that of course now the yam produced in Nigeria could not be accepted because it could not meet the international standard. So what should we do? So in that case, of course, now we need of course now to do the adopt the good principle and the international standard. Not that we just of course now grow yam, take it just like that. Of course now it will not be accepted. So of course now we have to do all this, the packaging, the processing and everything. Of course now must be standardized. And by the time we do that, of course now our goods of course now will be acceptable, all over the world. And in that case, of course now we get foreign exchange. Thank you very much, Professor Abeokuta. That takes me to the area of ethical orientation.
Yes, sir.
So what do you propose for government to do as a matter of necessity to change the orientation of the citizens, organizations, and probably nations that are also related with them?
Moderator, thank you very much. On your own part, when I had a chat with you, you said you are doing this as personal social corporate responsibility to the society. That is an individual. Enlightening the society about the next agenda that we should look up to. If private organizations and individuals can be mobilized by government and supported, you can imagine if your outfit is supported more than this, than your own individual little income that you are gathering to raise this program. So government has to actually go into the area of advocacy through private support, by mobilizing private support, well funded, so that at least the orientation of the people can be changing. Because many of the things that people are doing, they are doing it out of ignorance, out of lack of knowledge of the implications on themselves and the society and the future generation. So when we have much more of enlightenment programs through this kind of private outfit, I think we will get it right. And of course, it has to be well funded.
I think you are right. Government. You are right, and I just pray that this government will go places with the support of organizations and the like. This is where we would like to draw the curtain. We've been having so much contributions from our guests, and I'm particularly happy that Professor Additional Agbola, a researcher, a professor of mathematics, a man who loves technology and has been deploying technology to help the youth, organizations and the like, has been able to participate in this program. I want to thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure having you too, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Rashid Aditoru, it's a pleasure having you. You are a man known to have a research and to also be a public commentator on issues that can advance democracy and well-being of the people. It's a pleasure having you to also talk to us today.
I'm very grateful for bringing me here.
Thank you so much. Viewers, democracy is a game that must be played by all of us. Play a part and ensure that government policies and programs are executed. Talk when there is need to talk, and let government know that people, citizens of the nation, are interested in what is happening. So the new government, we wish you well. Nigeria will go places. Viewers, I wish you a better tenure and a hope assured. Thank you so much for being with us over the years. Bye.
I am a Nigerian, and my tribe comes second. I would not let my tribe define who I am or who I deal with, because we are all part of this great country, Nigeria. There is no Nigeria without